but the run game still not there. 18 for 44. Barkley suffered a myriad of injuries in this one, but hoping that he can get that run game going. It looks like the Eagles are back online. Back in studio with the guys, Joe Musso, Jonathan Jones, Bryant McFadden joining us with his insight, the man in green, and Logan Ryan as well. I come to you in that Eagle green first here. This is what you're looking for if you're the Eagles, trying to quell some of that concern. The quarterback looks great. Both wide receivers get fed. The run game still questions, but how good should you feel coming off of this one?
I mean, first and foremost, for the haters out there towards Jalen Hurts, he can do this. It's not like he doesn't have the ability to throw it around the yard. Mind you, he's played against, this was a Brian Flores-led defense that has been known to harass every opposing quarterback in terms of exotic looks in the back end. And this is what we might see from Jalen Hurts more than none compared to years past, because the offensive line has been horrendous. Saquon Barkley is looking not like the Saquon we saw last year. You guys know this. Saquon Barkley has yet to have a game where he's rushed for at least 90 yards all year long. His highest rushing total is 88 yards on the ground. So this has been an issue for them the entire season. But luckily today, Jalen Hurts said, when he can't run the football, I can throw it, and I'm willing to do so.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think happened here, because I've been coached by Brian Flores. I've been in his meeting rooms. This was a game plan that just wasn't executed. I know for sure Brian Flores wants to bring the pressure on the quarterback, take away the run game. So I know the Eagles haven't been running it, but Brian Flores is not going to let you run the ball based on how many numbers in the box. He's going to play one-on-one coverage, and your corner's got to win. And they were seeing the backside of A.J. Brown's jersey and Smitty's jersey all day. The corners did not win. It was aggressive. It was an aggressive game plan that was not executed by the players. If you're going to play like that, you can't let them get behind you. Let them catch in front of you and tackle. So I know what Brian Flores is coming back saying. He's still a great play caller. That's what this was. They're going to take away the run game, make Jalen Hurts beat me. Jalen Hurts beat him today. Hats off to him. I will say on the other side, though, this is a one-score game. You're playing against Carson Wentz and threw you two interceptions. Carson Wentz also sat here and threw for 313 yards. Okay, so I know the Eagles look good. I know they won this game, but there were still concerns to me about the Eagles because defensively, Carson Wentz is a possession away from winning this game with the pick six.
And the pick six, yes.
And the crazy Wentz throw.
That was just a couple of the most egregious overthrows that you see at the professional
And I know they're saying on the offensive side, Carson, we can't play like that. We got to take care of the ball and to execute the game. So that's where I'm at on both sides of it. I think it's a Brian Flores aggressive game plan that Jalen Hurts took advantage of.
Which I absolutely love, because Isaiah Rodgers has been playing well, right? But he was seeing the back of Devontae Smith's jersey, to your point, excellent point, just a bit ago. Meanwhile, Carson Wentz, he can't throw the interceptions. He may be throwing interceptions next week, because we don't know when J.J. McCarthy is ultimately going to be returning from that high ankle sprain. There's been a lot of misunderstanding. I don't want to say misinformation necessarily, but this was supposed to be a 2 or 3 or 4. Now we're getting into 5 and 6 weeks for J.J. McCarthy. I want to go ahead and dispel or quell some of the soft benching talk. Like, if he had been soft benched, I was told that he would have been the second quarterback today. He was the emergency third-string quarterback, so he is still hurt for the Minnesota Vikings. And then lastly, the Philadelphia Eagles, to your point about how they didn't really stop Carson Wentz. Brandon Graham's about to come out of retirement. And Brandon Graham is someone who, he has stayed in shape. He's looking at this. They need edge rush help. He will help them off the edge, but that does not preclude the Philadelphia Eagles from going out and getting another edge rusher on the trade market. So just because Brandon Graham ultimately very likely is coming back doesn't mean they won't still make a move at edge rusher, and they certainly should be making a move at corner.
7 weeks in, and we're starting to get a better idea of who is who and what is what. Those contenders bolstering personnel. The Eagles taking a step in the right direction in this one against the Minnesota Vikings. We already got them down for an INT next week, JJ?
Well, I mean,
it starts
statistically.
Anytime available, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel. I mean, there were fans in the first row who made it onto the box score with targets in this one from Carson Wentz. As for the plus side, Jalen Hurts balling in this opportunity, targeting both of his top wideouts.
Their one win against the only remaining winless team in the NFL, but the offense had been there. And then, Tua making mistakes last week, throwing his team under the bus, of course, apologizing for it afterward, but speaking to the culture within the locker room there. And now this game against a Cleveland Browns team that is starting a rookie third-round quarterback, and you only can muster 6 points here. It's It's been bad. There's very little hope that it's going to get better for the Miami Dolphins. And if I had to say who has the hottest seat in the NFL, certainly since Brian Callahan's firing in Nashville, no doubt Mike McDaniels is the hottest.
It's difficult to sit here and offer what an owner might be thinking, but we see with our eyes the lack of almost will to win. I know everybody's out there. They're all professionals. They're all trying to do it. They've been touched by injuries of their own right now. What is the road back to maybe not even relevancy for Miami, but a team that's no longer questioning whether or not this is the right head coach?
Well, I think finding out what the roster will be in what the detail of the roster moving forward, because right now they have no fighting chance to get into the playoffs. Now it's about moving forward. Who is deserving of being on this roster? Secondly, they have no leadership. Leadership is more important than talent in the National Football League, in my opinion, because when you have guys that can lead, they can rally the troops and point them in the direction they need to go to be at their best. Right now, they have no leadership, and the prime example of knowing that is because of what happened last week. When your quarterback bring in-house business to the neighborhood for all of us to talk about in the neighborhood, that's the first telling sign they lack leadership. Because if there was an issue with what was going on with player-only meetings and players not showing up, you handle that in-house as a leader, right? So that tells me he's cracking under pressure as well. So when you look at everything that has gone on, before we get to the field production or the lack thereof, they're in a bad position, which what you said, JJ, makes all the sense in the world, because you know this, Logan, when you're in a bad situation, when you're dealing with injuries, the ownership and the masses want to see guys continue to fight. Even if you come up short, they're fighting. We saw Cincinnati do what Thursday night? They fought. We saw Cleveland do what today? They fought. That gives ownership and the masses hope that, you know what, this guy can still get these guys to be at their best, even though we might be a bit shorthanded in terms of talent.
Something needs to be shaken up. Like this week. I don't know, head coach, quarterback, GM, whoever it is, that's not it. And B-Mac, when you get blown out by a 1-5 team, and you're a 1-5 team, and you get blown out in the NFL.
Rookie quarterback, too.
Yeah, on a rookie quarterback,
Without a win.
Without a win.
Let's keep making the case against it.
That plane ride home, bro, that is two things. It's either dead quiet or they're going to start cracking the cards out because guys don't care anymore, right? So there is a lack of leadership there, and when Tua did air some dirty laundry, I felt like he's the only leader in the building then. Because he's got no one else with him up there. He feels like he's got to start calling out players to not come to player-only meetings. I've been a part of player-only meetings, and I've never had players not show up to that. That is as bad.
I never heard of that before.
Yeah, that is as bad, and we both had some decade-long careers. That is as bad as I've heard. So to air that is bad. For no one else to say anything is bad. For people not to show up is bad. It's it's bad over there. So I don't care how that game went. When I saw that score, you get blown out in the NFL to a 1-5 team. That plane ride home, you're sitting there looking, hey, calling your agent. Am I on the trade block? How much get me out of here? How long am I going to be on here? Is my coach going to be here next year? They need to shake something up immediately. I think Miami's a fire sale right now.
Well, it could be, right? And certainly teams around the league are going to be looking at their pass rushers. They're going to be looking for Bradley Chubb. They're going to be looking for Jalen Phillips. One guy I don't think is going to be on the move is Jalen Waddle. He's under contract through 2028. He's their number one wide receiver now. He will be next year. Tyreek Hill's not going to return. They're going to release him because of his contract. But you touched on it very briefly. GM. Chris Greer has been with that organization for about a quarter century, and they don't have the wins. They don't have the playoff success to show for it. A big reason why they're in this position now, we can talk about leadership, we can talk about the coach and all of these things. There is also a lack of talent